All right, welcome back. Now we're going to take you to Figma and how to use our LottieFiles Figma plugin to create animations right from Figma. This is honestly one of my favorite features here because you don't have to be a motion designer in order to become a motion designer. You can work in the tool that you're already familiar with. If you're a product designer, you use Figma all day, you create prototypes. You can use those prototypes, turn them into Lottie animations. You can grab a simple frame, apply some styles and apply your motion system into it, and then export it as a Lottie animation as well. So I'm going to browse you through all of it. Also, you can use Figma Motion, which just launched recently, and you can take a Figma Motion animation and bring it into Lottie or export it as a Lottie with all the details. So you can then basically copy and paste and keep working on Creator. So let's get started here. We're going to go through a couple of examples. For this one, this is just a simple frame that I got here. We have our kind of like touch ID for our app, and I just want this to be animated. So if you select the frame and click to the LottieFiles plugins, you can find it in the plugins and widgets section. You can search for LottieFiles and install it. I have already installed it, have it here, and I'm already logged in. Right, so the LottieFiles plugin, first you can start exploring and taking a look at some of the premium animations that we offer. You can take a look at your workspace and bring animations into Figma. They will be imported as GIFs because Figma do not support Lottie and the canvas. But what you probably want to do is export this. So in this case, I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to click animate. So it's going to suggest me, we're going to have some suggestions already here, right? You can have move in, move out, like sliding up, right? And having all the bits there. In my case, what I want to do is kind of like a trim pad effect so that it can animate it and I can do it all in parallel. So everything is going. I think it might be a sequential, might be slightly better. So there you go. It's kind of like showing up and it's showing up that dialogue nicely. I can define how long does this last, if I need to wait a little bit before it starts, or if I wait a little bit actually at the end, right? A little bit of an end delay. And with that, I can just save and download. It's that easy, right? Just grab it, put it in a particular document or a particular project that I want, and it will take care of it all. That's all, right? And then once it's saved into the workspace, you can then download it either as a .lottie or as a JSON file or as an animated SVG or GIF, MP4s, WebM, whatever format you prefer. That's all there is to it. So let's jump into more complex stuff. Actually, if I wanted to work on this, you can apply kind of like the colors and the right elements. So I can select this particular layer here and I can go to my motion system, right? And from here, I can go to that demo motion system. I'm going to pick a color and apply it. And you can see it kind of gets applied immediately. Same thing for text. I can select the text here and maybe apply one of our texts, right? So I can do a heading maybe here. Right, and just get the right font, make sure that everything is the way it should be, right? So now it's looking the way that is, working for our app. And then I can decide how to animate it using one of the effects that we have already pre-made. So if I wanted to do like a little pop motion there, right, we can apply this and it will show there, right? So or I can do it for the entire dialogue by selecting the entire thing and just saying, let's do that pop motion again. And boom, it's all popping up. So I'm making sure now that this animation will have the motion presets that the team has decided that we're going to use that are there in my presets. I don't have to think too much about it. I can just simply, apply this and have that animation be ready, right? Save it, and that's it. That applies to all the bits, right? In this case, let me just take it back to the original state, but I can grab it on this particular element as well and do the same thing. So this is kind of like a button, right? That if I wanted to animate, I can go to my design system here. And with the right motion system, I can apply even a gradient if I wanted to. So you can see it there. It's being applied very nicely. And I can then decide to kind of like, just jump in or make it bounce a little bit maybe, right? So I can say, hey, ball, drop, and bounce, and I can apply that. And boom, there we go. We have that animation ready. Can save it. And that's it. It's that easy. So with that, you can quickly grab a single frame with no animation on it and have it ready to be an animation. But you might also want to actually work in a prototype that you already have. So in this case, I have this example here where I have this little wallet, and when I want to hover over it, kind of like show the right card, right, and then hide it back. So this is a prototype that is being built, right? It is just working with Smart Animate. When while I'm hovering, kind of goes, shows the card, do a little dance there, and then go back. So there are two things happening here. We can convert all the frames, right, in the prototype as one Lottie animation, but we also recognize the interactions. So in this case, it's working while hovering. We're going to reflect that as well. So when you hover, it's only when it's going to animate. You can decide that when you're exporting. So you can grab this particular frame or just select the right prototype flow from here, right? If you click here, and I'm going to pick the wallet in this case, and you will see there, it's not being animated because the interactions are on. So if I were to just hover over, there you go. I get my animation happening, and then I go, and you can see, right, as the mouse leaves, I will just, can click here and actually show you. There you go. It kind of leaves, jumps in, or leaves again, right? I can turn off the interactions as well, and it will just work as a regular animation, just popping in and popping out, right? But I want it in this case with animations, with the interactions happening, right? So that way I can just save it and save it into my docs. And that's it. Then a prototype has turned now into a Lottie animation that actually works with state machine, so I can hover in and have it react to what I need. Finally, let me show you kind of like what Figma Motion can do. So this is a Figma Motion animation that we have created. And if I go here to Figma Motion, you will see there all the keyframes, right? And kind of like how this animation happens, right? The little bird there kind of like blinking and moving the swings. And so this is all, every layer has been animated, and we have all the keyframes and all the different smoothing sections, right? Easing curves, all of it for every little bit. So this animation is kind of like ready to go here, but Figma does not allow you to export as a Lottie, which, won't enable, then you won't have interactivity, then you cannot add it to a motion system, right? So if you want it as part of your Lottie workspace and in your Lottie environment, you can create in Figma Motion and use the LottieFiles plugin to export it. So you can just go here, select the frame that we're working on, and then click export. And we will recognize everything, and there you go. It's going to be working just as it does in Figma. This is still in beta, so there you might find a little hiccup here and there, but we're working to make it better every day. Export, save it, and it's just that, all done. Nice and easy. So with that, you can decide how you want to create. You can create in Lottie Creator, you can create in Figma, you can create with Figma Motion, with prototypes, and you can export to Lottie from wherever. Finally, one simple thing that I wanted to show you is that you can apply, just as you can apply motion systems into your animations, you can also select elements to be tokens inside an animation. So if I wanted to say like this heart, in this case that I'm exporting here, this heart that I got here, right? I want to have some tokens as I'm exporting this. So when I click on it and I want to say export, right? It does the heartbeat, right? It has the animation that I want. Right, but I can go here to the motion token section. I can define any element here. I can say, hey, the number change, or it can be this vector, it can be the heart, it can be whatever it is that I need. So let's say we're going to grab the heart, and we're going to have this one of the layers of the heart. And from here, I can get any property, the position, the scale, the rotation, opacity, all the skew and the skew axis. All these bits, I just mark them as tokens, and then they will be saved as tokens available, right? So you can see all the transition, and those tokens you can then manipulate from JavaScript, from Lottie Creator, from wherever you need to have dynamic data pumping in and out of an animation, which is amazing. Just save it and the tokens will be there. And with that, I think that covers a little bit of our Figma plugin. There's more going on. You can vectorize images as well. You can create a vector, an illustration from a prompt using our Figma plugin. You will find those parts, those tools, if you go to the tools section, right? So in the tools section, you will see prompt to vector, the vectorizer, importing Lottie animations, or uploading any kind of files. So there you go. That's the Figma plugin. Super powerful tool. One of the best ways to create Lotties and get started from it. Thank you.